Okay, folks, day 4 of our financial series. It's all been building to what the government ultimately wants. By now, you probably get it. Control. They will literally create a crisis, then use it to get more control, and then they'll always lead to another crisis, which leads to the government taking more control. And the cycle continuously repeats itself. And what's the next major step in all this control? You already know how much they take from you in taxes, how much it costs you to borrow the money because they own interest rates. So why not try to control the money left over still sitting in your bank account? You got it. The federal government and the likes of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, know they can't circumvent the Constitution, so the only way is to make you bend to their will by controlling your livelihood. How are they going to do that? Simple. Make sure that they control, or at least have knowledge of, all of your money and every financial transaction you make. Digital currency. Now, look, even CNN noted the United States is the latest to signal urgency in the research and potential digital version of its dollar via a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. That's CNN saying that. That is how they're going to do it. They're going to sell it to you under the guise of ease, security, greater good, whatever. And the U.S. government is taking their lead from someone who no one elected, has demonstrated he can't be trusted, and has also no real qualifications to be given any advice on financial stuff on the world stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the real-life Dr. Evil Klaus Schwab, the man that every power-hungry leftist worships. And this man wants the digital currency so bad, he can taste it. So, what exactly is a centralized digital currency? Well, it's a digital form of central bank money that is widely available to the general public. That's the actual definition of it. Now, a centralized digital currency, also known as a CBDC, would differ from existing digital money, like the Bitcoin, which we'll talk about in a sec, because it would be a liability of the Federal Reserve, not of a commercial bank. Its value, its availability, and even whether or not you can spend it and what you can spend it on would be mostly controlled by unelected bureaucrats. You thought the Patriot Act, FISA courts, and the FBI spying on you, stripping you of your freedoms? You think that was bad? Just wait for this. This will, not may, it will lead to confiscation, maybe expiration dates on funds that you thought you owned. Blacklisting products and people. You don't think Gavin Newsom, that wacko out in California, isn't salivating at the ability to limit the amount of money you can spend on a gun? Like China is doing right now. It can even go the way of the social credit score. They're doing that too. China's digital yuan makes it easier for the Communist Party to view users' financial data and censor their activity. Weird. You think I'm crazy? Think again. They're doing this right out in the open, and no one is calling them on it. Take a look. Quote, Joe Biden ordered federal agencies to start to study the implications of a government-backed digital currency. The Federal Reserve is on the bandwagon for this, with studies and experiments already underway. But what's standing in their way? Well, two things. One is cash. They need to get rid of a cash-based system if they're going to do this, because if non-trackable cash is an option, people will just convert their digital currency over to cash and get around the government's restrictions. It has that pesky little thing on it for all debts, public and private. And two, private digital currency like Bitcoin. Why? Well, it's blockchain technology. It exists everywhere and nowhere, with no way for the government to manipulate or control it. You think I'm lying? Remember the 3 banks that just went bust? Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank, and Signature Bank. All premier banks for Bitcoin or the like. Why do you think they didn't get bailed out? It's all connected, folks. So how do you get people to willingly give up their own autonomy, especially their financial autonomy? Simple. Give them free money. They'll take it. UBI, Universal Basic Income. And no surprise, like always, our buddy Klaus Schwab and the rest of these globalist, communists, and lizard people are trying to use a crisis to impose it. Check this out. What do you think the lockdowns were about? And why do you think they closed mom and pop stores but let big box retailers stay open? Forced economic consolidation. World governments knew that if they could make people suffer financially, they could get them to rely on government. It's being tried in England right now. I'm showing you the receipts, folks. COVID was a trial run. In May, CBS News reported, prepare for the next pandemic. Future pathogens with, quote, an even deadlier potential than COVID. That's the WHO chief, the World Health Organization that nobody wants to listen to anymore. What they are doing is so blatant that even a member of the European Parliament, Christine Anderson, called it out. Listen to this.
This whole COVID madness, this so-called pandemic, it was just a test balloon. For what, you ask? Well, to see how far they could go, to see what exactly they would have to do to get free individuals in a free and democratic society to consent to being forced into compliance.
Boom. This time, though, it'll be double secret probation shutdown. People will have no choice but to take the universal basic income, except it will only be available in the centralized digital currency. And those big box retailers that now own most of the market, substantially more after COVID, they will be forced to only accept this, not cash. Otherwise, the government would shut them down for, health reasons or safety or the greater good. This is already happening in some places. Oh, Carl, I've never heard this. How could this possibly be true? Exactly. Of course you've never heard of it, because they're doing it in places that censor it. Ours tried to do this too. They just didn't totally succeed. Still don't believe me? Look to our north. Canada. Canada is literally succeeding. Fortunately, Ted Cruz understands this. He's one of the few actually fighting it. Folks, my point here is that a centralized digital currency is the end of our freedoms, period, full stop. It circumvents the Constitution because it gets you and I to willingly give up our rights out of desperation under the guise of a crisis. It's total control that we cannot turn over to Washington, D.C.